What's good, YouTube? We are here today, as you can see by the thumbnail, the comment, the description, the title. We're going to talk about the Yu Hakusho live action. I guess you can kind of call this a review, but I'm going to more just structure this as my thoughts on it and how I felt about it. So this weekend, or actually yesterday, I finished the Yu Hakusho live action, and overall, I gotta say, I thoroughly did enjoy it. And I enjoyed it for all the right reasons. And this isn't me being too hypercritical as in fan of anime. I'm gonna try and not be that person. And as I always say with any review or any upcoming trailer that I react to, let's give the art a fair chance, right? Let's approach it with an open mind. And by doing that, I enjoyed it. I thought the characters were great. I thought the depiction of the characters were great. The CGI was absolutely phenomenal. The combat was great. The Toguro brothers, I think they nailed it. I don't know what you think, but I think they nailed it, especially the older Toguro brother. His animation when he's like doing his thing and he's meshing and forming into different things, I thought it was dope. I really like the fact that one of the things that often get lost in the translation from anime to live action is just the creativity in the combat and what the characters can do. And CGI is pretty expensive, so we don't really see shows go all out, and they usually skimp us on the CGI and try and make up for it in other ways. They did not do that with this show. All the characters' special attacks, from Hiei to Yusuke, the spirit gun, to even Kuwabara's sword, they did a great job animating all those via CGI. And I even gotta say, I liked Kuwabara's character. I was a little skeptical because Kuwabara is like one of our favorite characters, our favorite like side characters, our secondary characters in anime. And I think they did a good job with him as well. And I gotta say the same thing with Yusuke. And even more so, I'm glad that they made this TVMA and not PG-13, because Yu Hakusho is very much about it's a very much hand-to-hand combat show, and the grittiness of the combat was shown by allowing there to be blood and allowing there to be gore in this show. And honestly, I think Yu Hakusho is an adult anime, and it should be an adult show as well. I'm glad they didn't try to tend to the kiddies with this. However, what I did not like, and I think the biggest pothole, I'll just call it a pothole of this show, was, and I don't blame this on the director, I don't blame this on the characters, I don't blame this on the character design. It had nothing to do with any of those things. It was the decision that they made with the writing. From here on, I am going to talk about spoilers in the show. If you've seen the Yu Hakusho anime, they really aren't spoilers. It's more so just how they configured the show that I'm gonna speak about right now. So in the Yu Hakusho anime, early on there are like three major arcs. There's the Spirit Beast arc, there is the training arc where Yusuke meets Genkai, and then there's like a rescue arc where Hiei's sister is captured and they are going to rescue Hiei, where they meet the Toguro brothers for the first time. And then from there you have the Dark Tournament arc, which is my personal favorite arc, which is where I'm going to try not to let my bias take over from here. What they did in the live action was they pretty much folded these two arcs on top of each other. And I'm going to point out some examples of that. What they did in the Spirit Beast arc was they took away the Spirit Beast and they just kind of had people getting infected. So you lose some great villains there, but really where it started to show was in the Genkai training arc. And once again, let's keep in mind that this show was only 5 episodes, and I'll speak to why I think it was 5 in a moment, but I'm gonna lead into that. Now, this is where things started to kind of, as a Yu Hakusho fan, I was a little disappointed. The Genkai training arc was rushed. It was really only 1 episode. They didn't go through the elimination phase, and they did not really get into the relationship between Yu Hakusho and Genkai. The whole premise of Yu Hakusho, in my opinion, is about overcoming who you are as a person, challenging yourself to really the point of death and not being afraid to fail. And what are the things in your life that you're willing to go all in on, and really putting those things on the line. Yusuke is a character who is, what's another word? It's another word for lazy. Yusuke is very lazy, right? Because I can't think of the word right now. But what he does is, because he does not want to fully commit, he just relies on his natural talent just to get by. And Genkai challenges him to really leave everything on the line. And I'm going to actually show that here in a scene that didn't really translate to the Genkai training arc in the show.
It is called training under critical condition.
You have Genkai challenging him.
To its breaking point. Only then will you reach beyond your physical limits. Power like this must be earned, slacker. I know that's a new concept for you. All your life you've gone the easy way. So you were born with a talent for fighting. Who cares? You never worked for it. It was easy. You always quit any time the answer wasn't served on a silver plate.
Shut up! Shut up! I don't have to listen to you!
So before it keeps going here, Genkai is challenging him. It is, you know, being talented isn't good enough. And this is the first time in Yusuke's life someone has done that. Because you got to remember, Yusuke's just a teenager. He might even still be a preteen at this point, 13, 14 years old. And listen to what he says in response.
Look at all the energy you still have. Shows you're doing your training like
and Genkai's no nonsense.
You people are all alike. Trying to take control of me and tell me how I am. You're wrong.
And right there, Yusuke just shows the mistrust he's had in adults. And this is the effect that bad teachers, bad parents, like different things in your life can have on a kid. And just remember, this is a shonen. This is the journey of a young boy becoming a man, and we get to watch that. I'll just let this scene finish. I just love what Genkai says next. I'll let this scene finish first. If you need motivation, this part right here.
It's time you bit the bullet and started caring about something with all your heart and energy. But you can't care about it if you're always holding yourself back in case it doesn't work out. Concentrate on what's important, Yusuke.
The music,
to it all the
way. Soul.
Okay. But what's important?
And then that's the journey. That's what he has to figure out. But which, once again, we missed out on a lot of that. So the Genkai training arc, I think it missed the mark as far as that connection, that the fact that Genkai was the first person in Yusuke's life really to push him past his limits and push him past just being okay enough and not taking, oh, you're using me as an excuse. And then what really, I guess we'll say, grinded my gears was the final arc, the Hiei sisters retrieval arc. They took Team Toguro and had them fight against Team Yusuke. We have to remember that doesn't happen until the Dark Tournament. And then here's another major spoiler. In the Dark Tournament, Genkai gives Yusuke the Spirit Orb, which he trained him for. And it nearly killed him just accepting it. We see her do that in the training arc, and there was like no repercussions of it. And this is me being a little nitpicky, but once again, it's the soul, it's the emotion of the show. And I'm gonna get on Netflix about that in a second. But then the next portion is, once again, now we're taking battles from the Dark Tournament and we're now putting it in the Hiei sister retrieval arc. And of course, like the Dark Tournament, each character defeats their challenge. Hiei wins, Kuwabara wins. The gentleman with the scar face who was trying to open the demon portal, he ends up executing himself. And then ultimately, unlike in the show, well, like in the show, Toguro removes his Toguro doesn't. Toguro does this in the Dark Tournament arc. He kills his older brother so that he can fight Yusuke at full strength, and Yusuke defeats him with a spirit gun. However, in the anime, Kuwabara stabs the Toguro and he fakes his death. So now it leads me to believe that we just watched the Dark Tournament fight. Togoro's dead now. And then it's like, what is supposed to happen next? This show is only 5 episodes. What are the next 5 episodes going to be about if the Dark Tournament's already done? If the Toguro brothers are dead, do we not see the Dark Tournament? And then this leads me to my peak point with this show, and my biggest frustration is I don't think Netflix believed in this show. I don't know when it went into production, but I think Netflix saw the success of One Piece and they said, okay, I think they've had this show sitting somewhere and they said, okay, you know what? One Piece was a success. Let's put it out, but let's just condense it down into 5 episodes. And I literally feel like someone went into ChatGPT, typed in Yu Yu Hakusho synopsis, and tried to condense it into 5 episodes. I'm not saying that it needed 10 episodes, but they did not need to overlap the two arcs. They could have just gave us the Saint Beast arc, gave us the training arc, and then gave us the Hiei sister retrieval arc without stealing elements from the Dark Tournament, because the show is hold going forward. How do you have the Dark Tournament with no Toguro? How do you have the Dark Tournament with no Masked Fighter? If Yusuke already has the Spirit Orb, what level does he need to go to next in his training? And I think Netflix undermined the show. So is the Demon World, and once again, why? The Dark Tournament is so good because that is when Yusuke pushes himself to the brink, and obviously Genkai's death meant so much at that point. We gotta remember how Yusuke was in the forest just punching the tree with his bare hand. The spirit gun that he let off when he found out that, I don't know, bro. Like, it was a good show for what it was. Let's put it like that. For what it was, the Yu Yu Hakusho, because I'm going to wrap this up. The Yu Yu Hakusho live action was good for what it was. For what they gave us, I think it did well. But I do think that Netflix undermined this show, and I don't think they believed in it. Because if they believed in it, they would have given us these 3 arcs and let it build into, because this is what I'm picturing in my head. If you're gonna give us 5 episodes a season, imagine this: the start of season 2, Toguro pulls up on the bike and challenges Yusuke and Team Urameshi to come to the Demon World and fight in the Dark Tournament. That could be 5 episodes in itself. Boom. Episode 3 in season 2, Genkai gives him the Spirit Orb, she dies, and by episode 5, Yusuke defeats Toguro with the Spirit Gun. What was so hard about that? But I don't think they had any intention on doing a season 2 for this show. And I think that is the slap in the face. If they do a season 2, will I watch it? Of course. Hopefully it's great. But the Toguro brothers and Genkai deserve more than 5 episodes. And that's really my final kind of thought on the Yu Yu Hakusho live action. So let me know what you think. If you are a Yu Yu Hakusho fan, did you enjoy the live action? Did you agree? Do you disagree? Am I being too hypercritical? Do you want to see a season 2? Is there going to be a season 2? And for any other anime fans out there, what other live actions would you like to see next? I don't know which ones they've done already, but is it time that we finally get a Naruto live action? I know One Piece is coming back. They're reanimating One Piece on Netflix, which is pretty interesting. Maybe we'll talk about that in another video. But I hope you guys enjoy this one, and if you did, definitely go ahead and hit the like to subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.